Pro-Palestinian protests continuing at major U.S. universities as students express their outrage at the mounting death toll in Israel's war in Gaza. Students are calling for universities to separate themselves from any company advancing Israeli military efforts in Gaza, and in some cases from Israel itself. While the groups largely act independently, some students say they are inspired by peers at other universities. Boston police arrested several protesters today when they cleared a pro-Palestinian encampment in an alley at Emerson College. The school previously warned that tents set up by protesters were in violation of city ordinances. Arrests were also made at the University of Southern California following clashes with police. 93 people were arrested for trespassing. The school has closed its campus until further notice. Clashes also at the University of Texas at Austin after dozens of police officers and state troopers formed a line to prevent students from marching through campus. At least 10 people were detained. And protests at Columbia University, the epicenter of demonstrations that began last week, still going strong. Demonstrators say they will not disperse until the school agrees to cut ties with Israeli academic institutions, amongst other demands. Hundreds of students and others have been arrested at Columbia, Yale and NYU since last Friday. And now to the latest on the conflict itself in Gaza. Sarah Coles joins us live from Tel Aviv. Sarah, Israel says it's moving ahead with its planned operation in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. Could we see that happening in the days ahead?
We certainly could, Wei Su. I'll tell you what's happening right now as we go to where the War Cabinet, they are holding a meeting pretty close to where I'm standing here in Tel Aviv, discussing this operation to go down into that southern Gazan city of Rafah, where Israel says the last remaining 4 Hamas battalions are stationed. Now, also yesterday, the head of Israel's Shin Bet and the IDF Chief of Staff, Herzi Halevi, they actually travelled to Cairo, where they met Egypt's spy chief, amid real concern from Egypt over this operation, given that Rafah down in the south is on the border there with Egypt, with the Egyptians extremely concerned that if and when this does actually happen, that it could push thousands of displaced Palestinians actually over that Egyptian border and cause major security breaches issues. So certainly a lot of concern there from the Egyptians. And also one other thing that we need to really look out for, Wei Su, is it was just yesterday that the Israeli military announced that it's deploying 2 additional reserves battalions into Rafah, into Gaza rather. They had previously been trained in the north. They've now been training for combat to go into the Strip. So this is certainly something that we really need to be watching when these additional up to 10,000 Israeli troops do go into Gaza. It could very well signal that this operation is not very far away. But what we do need to remember really is that still no plan has been released as to where these more than 1.3 million internally displaced Palestinians should go, Wei Su.
Thanks for that. Sarah Coles reporting live from Tel Aviv.